And we're back. Now you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to have to bare my soul with Rachel here.
So I'm kind of excited about this interview because a lot of people know that you are Rob Jones, president of the Marshfield Chamber of Commerce, but they don't know much about Rob Jones. And there is a lot to uncover. So,
well, that was intentional.
I know, right? But now you're going to tell the whole world. So,
oh boy.
First things first.
All right.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Okay.
Who cuts your hair?
And colors it too, right?
I was going to say, because
I know you want to get that comment in. Hey, I go to Walnut Street Barbershop in Springfield, a little barbershop down there, old traditional barbershop.
He needs to work a little bit more on the non-gray.
If they cut out the gray, I'd be bald, wouldn't I? Huh?
Okay. Let's talk a little bit more serious, so that our viewers can know a little bit more about you.
Okay.
You've been in Marshfield for many, many years.
About 18.
About 18. So tell us a little bit about yourself, and then a little bit about the personal side. How did you get to Marshfield, and maybe include your family in that, if you don't care.
Okay. Well, I spent 18, 19 years with Packard Corporation. They build and own Kenworth and Peterbilt trucks. Got all my great training there. Spent the last 2 years literally traveling the world for them, working on all their facilities in Mexico, Canada, probably 20 different states, U.S. and UK. So did a lot of traveling. Ultimately, that got to be too much traveling. And so then from there, I basically spent the last 30 years pretty well doing business turnarounds.
Right.
Which means I go into businesses struggling or ones that want to grow. 9 times out of 10, we get them straightened out, get the value up, and get them sold. And some of the companies I've worked with, I can talk about some of the names because they've turned hands multiple times. Most familiar to most people here would be Low Boats. And that's actually how I got into this part of the country. I was working at a different company, and Low Boats called me. And actually, because of a friend of ours, had talked to Low Boats and interviewed and said, I'm not the guy, call this guy. So that's how we got into the Missouri area. We came into Low Boats and have been pretty much in this part of the country all along. It's my wife, Chris.
Yep.
Who helps me in the business. She's done everything from write procedures to run QuickBooks for companies.
Wow.
To we do inventories. She'll help me jump in. We did a 2-day inventory at a small retail company. I say small. They had 19,000 different part number or 1,900 different part numbers that we had to go count. So
that's very time consuming.
It did. It took a lot of time. And of course, we had to spend like the first hour figuring out exactly what worked best. And we made that work. So she's helped me with all that. And of course, as you know, spent a lot of time, we have 2 granddaughters in the area and our son, and spent a lot of time with them. A lot of that at basketball, basketball courts or track meets and that kind of stuff. So basically that's it. But yeah, my history has been pretty much doing turnarounds, and that's the thing I like to do. That's what I still do today.
Now you mentioned that you do turnarounds for companies that just want to sell.
Well, even
if they just want you to come in and turn the company around
and keep it, absolutely.
Keep it. Okay.
Yeah, and that's happened too.
Yeah.
In one project I did, came in and said, "Hey, owner called me. I'm tired. I'm worn out. I've got to do something. Help me get the value up and get this sold."
Right.
We actually got his profit up the first year 4 times, and after a 2-year period, he came in and said, "Yeah, I don't want to sell. I'm making too much money. I'd be crazy to sell now."
That's good.
So,
that's
and that works out that way. But a lot of times it's, the owners are just tired and they're looking to do something different. And that's how we work out.
Okay. So, question. What's the most interesting project you've worked on?
Oh, Lord.
Or maybe one that you can share with us.
Well, I think the most interesting would be the one that you've heard me talk about in the past. One company in particular, it's a $250 million manufacturing company, was struggling. They called me in 2005. I went in May of 2005. It was a turnaround, really in trouble. The company stock was valued at a certain amount. And in 27 months later, we got the company turned around and we sold the company for 7 times the stock value. Wow. Almost 8. And for example, you've heard me tell a story, a gentleman by the name of Mark.
Yeah.
Mark had stock. His value was $30,000. And once we sold the company, I never forget Mark coming up, shaking my hand and saying, hey, when you came in, I was worth $30,000. I just cashed a check for $250,000.
That's awesome.
So that's the stuff. It not only helps the owners, but a lot of times smaller companies, employees have stock. So that works out for them.
Absolutely. So you're not just helping the owners. You're
That's
helping
right.
all the way down.
All the way down. Well,
all the way down.
It's creating job security.
Absolutely.
I know with a lot of these, I mean, we've had to do, but all in all, probably in the last 30 years, the company turnarounds and the jobs saved would probably be pushing 4,000 jobs. So
that's incredible.
It makes a difference. It makes a difference.
It absolutely does. Okay, so what does a day in the life of Rob Jones, Odyssey Business Group, did I say that right?
Yeah.
What does a day in the life of you look like?
My days are really crazy. They vary, day to day and even month to month. A lot of time is spent out actually getting networking, which you and I do a lot of anyway.
Yes.
As you know, out of the networking that we do together, I do it strictly as the president of the chamber and never go selling myself. But a lot of the time is spent out getting to know new businesses, new business owners, trying to work with things that way. Currently, the projects I have going on, I have in 4 different completely industries. I have projects going on in manufacturing, in retail, in healthcare, and distribution.
Yeah.
So I've got
a lot of irons in the fire.
Yeah, and these are all active projects that I'm working on now. And you're always out looking for the next one, but the next one always usually comes from a referral.
Right.
I sit there and say, back in May, I was sitting there saying, I'm going to be standing out with a sign on the corner.
Looking
we'll work for food. Yeah.
And now you have a million irons in the fire.
And then all of a sudden it's like, man, I'm busier than I really thought I'd be. So.
And then you also have to field calls and emails and text messages from me.
Well, we figure out that chamber, I probably spend at least 10 hours a week average on chamber stuff.
And I would say at least an hour or 2 of that is on the phone with me.
Or more.
Maybe.
Or more, depending on what we have going on.
Depending on what we've got going on. So as we wrap this up, 2 things I want to know.
Okay.
What does your ideal client look like? And what is it that we need to know?
Ideal client, that's the perfect question to ask any business. My ideal client, and unfortunately, because of what I do, I want to get paid for it.
Absolutely.
Right? So my ideal client is a business that is usually running revenue $500,000, maybe $750,000 to $40 million. They're privately owned companies. I don't want to have to deal with corporations and try to get approvals. You never get anything done.
Right.
Which is why I got out of the corporate world originally. So that's my ideal client. We, as you know, we do work and you and I work together with some of these people in our chamber for nothing. And you've been in some of those conversations and seen the results. For example, let's talk about like the business credit that people got.
Yes.
The employee retention tax credit.
And that was huge.
We worked with in just our chamber partners. We had over $750,000 come back to the community because people didn't know, and we educated, worked with them, and helped them get the business credit.
Well, I know one business got over 50. Another business got nearly 20. And these are individual small businesses that, I mean, I don't know that I'd want to call it free money, but it was. Is that okay
free
to
money?
say?
Yeah, it is.
Free money from the government that that businesses don't have to pay back.
That's right.
Unfortunately, that time has passed.
Yeah.
But those are the kinds of things that you help with the businesses, getting them to the right people so that can be taken care of.
Right, right. And I guess the one thing to know is, just I'm out there looking to meet businesses who maybe are struggling.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, people don't want to stand up and say, hey, I'm struggling. And that's the hard part. but things
And
can be done
everything
very
you do-
quiet and confidential.
Right. I was going to say that was the question I had.
And
Was
it's
everything
like
is confidential.
we've never talked about any of the companies
No.
except one, and it's sold multiple times since
Absolutely.
then that
Yeah.
we mentioned that name.
And I think sometimes that's what, they're embarrassed.
Yeah.
So it's nice to know that you're going to work with somebody who your level of integrity is through the roof, and you can be confident knowing that Rob's going to keep your information confidential.
Very confidential.
Very confidential.
Well, and it's embarrassing for people, but a lot of times too, things may have been out of their control.
Right. Right.
COVID did impact some
Yeah,
companies.
absolutely.
Now, again, the one I worked with in particular during that time that we made the value up 4 times was right in the middle of COVID when everybody was shut down and, you supposed to not be working.
Right.
And those types of things. So, So there are ways to work around it. And again, a lot of the people have a certain skill. Maybe you're a great air conditioning specialist, right? So everything it is about fixing an air conditioning or plumbing or electrical or you name it, but you don't understand the business
side of things.
And that's the hard part.
Yeah.
And as you know, we've put some classes on together through the chamber. And I got a kick. Hoover Case, whose family has been in business since the beginning of time,
absolutely,
made the comment that no one should get a business license until they go through this class.
Absolutely. And do we talk about the chamber since you've came on board?
No, go ahead.
So when Rob came on board, the chamber, we were sitting at about 140 members. Mm-hmm. And as of yesterday, we were at 232. And I credit a lot of that to you. You came in with this mentality of when you walked through the door,
you want to tell that story how we got started?
So Rob and Chris, your wife, came into the chamber office one day, and I think you were there to come to our meeting.
Just going to come meet a board meeting.
Come meet the board members. Then turns out that didn't work out that day, but. Anyway, we got to talking about what you did, and I kind of just, I got my claws in him, and I just reeled him in. And the only thing I remember about that conversation is Rob could do company turnarounds, and I had just started at the chamber. I hadn't been there for just a few months, and I thought I need help, help us grow this chamber. And so within a few months, I would say, we had an opening on the board.
Well, in March, we actually did a proposal saying, here's what the chamber really needs to be working on to improve.
Absolutely.
And in May, actually started on the board. Yeah.
And he's never been the same.
We've started our networking events and have been going hard for almost 2.5 years.
Yep. And I don't see it slowing down. I hope it doesn't slow down.
Don't know. And Rachel set the goal. We're going to be at 250 by October.
280. Let's make it 280.
Okay, we'll stay at 250.
If my math is right, if we get to 280, we will have doubled.
Yes, that's right.
So, and Rob thinks he's rolling off the board at the end of the year. I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, my own board members, as we were asking for new board members, the term's for 3 years. Yeah. And my term comes up in October.
Yep.
And so
he thinks.
Yeah.
So,
all right. So, should we go on and move on?
We should
bore people to death.
On. But thank you very much for letting us pick your brain. All right, Ryan, let's go to a quick. See you next Thursday, August the 7th, right back here. Bye. Wait.